Welcome back. I'm Brandon. I'm here to play some more Breaker. Now, I made a couple changes since last time. That's the whole point of this type of series, is where I'm playing a game that's already written, but at the same time, before I release this version, I want to make sure that the changes work and they're clear. And so I'm going through it as I play and kind of looking through what works and what doesn't. And as I was playing last time, I wasn't very happy with how I was always stuck pretty much bouncing back between the emotions that are the level 3s, the ones that benefit my character the most. And there's 6 basic emotions and I was only really using 2. So I've changed it a little bit. And I've also clarified in the rules how to actually make combats, or what the Breaker has that is closest to combat that would be similar to something you'd find in another game. Once again, I'm using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. I added a couple more PDFs to this version of it. Just things I like, the Metamorphica, Tome Adventure Design, just in case I need any other idea about what to do. Alright, so last time, Luna had found the ruins of one of the old houses of the thaumaturges, and I split the goal that she had into another one because I spent so much time traveling and I was so wrapped up in that I never really addressed the find herself part or find out what she is part, so I split that off into a separate goal, which is fine. The goals are really there just to give you a pacing mechanism so that you are pushing towards something and it's not just like a narrative. Oh, I found it. I think I was just underestimating that. So tonight we're going to work on this. Oh, and then because she resolved it on on a weak hit, she had to take 1 point of pressure from the goal that I've deleted here and put it onto her next goal, which is return to my home and save them from the darkness. And I think that's because the Great Dark, or whatever we're calling them, which I'm starting to visualize as almost demonic. I think it's why I put like the Metamorphica in there, maybe mutant type of things. They're aware of her. They've been following her this whole time. So I put that pressure on that goal. So now we're going to have to try to answer this goal of find out what she is. I mean, she knows that she's got magic, but she doesn't necessarily know like what that means or how to use it. And so I think that goal is to find some type of book or testament or item that will inform her about what this power is that she has and a little bit of what she can do with it. I think that's the goal. And she starts with a control of 3 in it because I want it to take a little bit longer. Well, I want it to take about the same amount of time as it took finding the place. And when we ended, she was staring at these like rune stones that marked the entrance to the property, and up on the hill there was this ruined kind of castle that was really ruined, where there was very little hope of her finding any information there, but she's still going to try to find it. She has, like everything in Breaker, you have to make a roll to move forward because that's how you're playing the game. It was a good strong hit last time, and so she's still going to start with hope. Yes, because a strong hit is low die determines which is it, light or dark, and then where you hit on the hit mark determines which emotion you use. So the high emotion is the one you have the most in, the low emotion is the one you have the least in, and the middle one is the 2. So she's still hopeful, staring at these ruins, and so she's going to go and see if she can find anything. And I don't really have a method that really helps me with that. No, maybe the Repscallion. It's kind of the sneaky, kind of roguey. So I'll use that. I'll use hope in that. And I don't have a boon that really speaks to me about helping. So I'm going to go ahead and use the environment to help me. And I think it's a really clear sunny day, and that's going to give me a good ability to like look around and see what's going on. Unfortunately, when you do that, you only get 1 confidence, so she only has a 5 confidence in this roll. That's not very good. still. 5 confidence versus 3 and 7. She has a weak hit. This is for the favorable. 6. Gain clarity. Alright. And 9. Gain pressure. I don't have to determine what the pressure is right now. I still think that they're watching her. So that's in my back of mind. I'm putting that through. Gaining clarity means that something happens that makes her feel like understand something about herself. And I don't know how that is going to visualize, so I'm going to look back at my die. The low die is the dark die, and I have a weak hit, so it has to be the middle emotion. So anger. Anger is what's triggered. I also have a 3 and a 7, so I can go right back down to this oracle. 3 and 7, perfection and purity. Okay. She didn't get any closer to her goal, though. That's okay. I can still describe it as getting closer in like a narrative sense, even if she doesn't actually get closer especially with clarity. It can provide answers and growth. And it can be very similar to a goal. It's just there's still a lot more work she has to do before she gets there. And I think after scouting around for a long time on this hill, she finds a mural on a piece of stone that has fallen. She clears all the plants away from it and looks down on it, and it's of somebody wielding magic, clearing away the darkness, clearing away these like demonic creatures and keeping them at bay. And it really gives her a clarity of like what the magic should be used for. Like maybe she'll be able to do something like that, and she immediately makes the connection between the great dark and the creatures, the dark creatures in the mural that she's looking at. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens. And her clarity is like, I will be able to do that. And so clarity is like experience. So it's kind of helping her visualize how to use this magic that she has inside of her. Cool. Got that down. What is she going to do now? She's on a hill. She's staring at this. I think she's going to start digging. You know? She's going to dig around and see if maybe there's like something blocked in the stone somewhere. She's going to start looking in some of the actual ruined areas and moving stones and moving like what could be blocking doorways, and just going to start digging through it. But she's kind of angry because if this place was filled with people who were defending others against the darkness and it's in ruins, she's kind of angry that it's gone. She's angry that her world has to suffer because people that were protecting it are gone. So it really filters through her angrily wise. So she has a 2 anger. And I think I'm going to let her use the creator method. The creator method is creation and building and growing. It's anything artisan wise. And I think that might give her a leg up on how to look in this building and move the stones in a way that won't collapse it. And I think it makes sense in a farm town. You have to help each other build. And it's going to remind her of the times that she helped build houses with her family, with the whole village. The time she had to help scoop out a well, that type of thing. So, and maybe in her traveling tool she has like a little shovel. We'll just call that. So I'm going to give her a 6 to roll for this one. Ooh, that's a strong hit. I like it. So again, strong hit. I get to choose one from the from the list there, I think I'll go ahead and gain some control. I know I said I was going to roll it all, but not all, you know, a little bit. And then I can use my highest die on the low roll. The roll was the dark die of those. So I'm going to find something that makes me sad. Or at least shifts me that way. Again, it's not mega mood shifts. It's like the little mood shifts that everybody feels all day long when they experience something. Like, oh, the drink of the fresh cup of coffee in the morning may cause you to be happy, but not like, oh yeah, I'm happy, I'm going to go to Disney World. It's just, you know, the little happies. She's angry, but not like I'm going to go punch a tree angry. She's angry like this is upsetting. And then when she shifts to sorrow, it's not like she starts bawling again. What happens is something happens that makes her feel sadness in that way that you feel sadness sometimes when you think of, you know, the loss of like a good piece of art, or knowing you'll never have a meal like that one again. That little bit of sadness. Those calm but still potent emotions. It's a 1 in 5, so if I want even more, I can just go to my oracle again. 1 in 5 is birth, and 5 is denial or carnality. That's fine. Since all I'm experiencing is moving forward, I think she finds, after most of the day searching, she ends up finding a way to dig up a fallen wall. And she sees like an animal trail going under it, and she thought, well, maybe there's like a hollow down there. So she digs enough to move, and indeed there is an animal nest under it. But the animal nest isn't just in like a burrow that they dug out. It's actually in a stairwell that has been littered with debris over the years and only protected from completely filling in because of this wall that had collapsed on top of it. So she finds her way underneath the ruins. And the reason I did animals, carnality and animalism symbolically go together for me. And birth, it's a place that animals would give birth to their babies. So that's the reason I described it that way. And then the control, meaning I'm going forward in my story, means I do find a way forward. That doesn't necessarily give her clarity or anything like that. So she lights up a torch from her traveling tools. That's a good assumption. Her horse can't come down here. She ties it up on top of the hill, pats it. I wonder what Anna eats. I wonder what mecha horses eat. I bet you they don't. I bet you they're just magical. I bet you the Great Dark eats magic too, though. I bet you they would eat it. The magic from the mecha horse. Anyways, she doesn't have to tie it up. It's not a wild animal. It just stays. And she descends. She lights her torch and descends into the dark underneath the hill. Traveling tools gives me 2. I don't see anything in this method list that is going to help her. She's no longer in the natural world. But she is sneaking. She's kind of like creeping around. So I'm going to give her this 1 from here. And then because it's low, I'm sorrowful. So the place doesn't scare her, which is what she thought she would fear. She thought she would feel fear going down. But she's actually, it's almost like the place gives her the sense of the grave, the sense of loss. And she feels sorrow for it. And she doesn't know if that's just because of how she personally feels as a human, or if it's because the place itself is responding to her, or she's responding to a magic that's around it. But she descends. So that's 1, 3, 3. That's 6 again. Okay, weak hit. I can deal with a weak hit. Remember, a weak hit means I use a middle emotion next time, and I get 1 from each. Let's go ahead and roll. This is for the favorable. 5, gain control. Okay, and this is for the unfavorable. 5, lose control. That happened to us last game too, didn't it? Where I had to move and then lose control again. I think I'm going to switch it. I'm going to gain pressure. And I think I'm going to let her know about the pressure. Middle emotion is 2, which is anger. And then 5, 5 would be, not 5, 5. 4, 10, death and structure. Yeah, death and structure. Yeah, that plays right into me giving them pressure. I got it. So the stairs go down deep, and they kind of turn. They're not straight stairs. She gets to a little room at the bottom, but before she can really explore it, she hears footsteps on the stairs behind her. And that's where the anger comes in, because she is angry she left Anna up there. She's angry that she didn't pay more attention to the person with binoculars that she saw, or the things about people following her. And she knows that this is somebody coming to get her. So we're just gonna split up this and start a fight. I mean, why not, right? So there's two ways to handle fights. You can handle it by, I can just have her run up the stairs as an action and attack them, and deal with it in favorable, unfavorable way. Where I could just say, if I roll control, or I roll to lose pressure, I'm going to get rid of this pressure, and I can say that's getting rid of the fight, or having the fight. Or I can spin off the pressure completely into its own goal. Just release that to 0. Bring this goal down here. It is an 8 minus 2 for the control of the new one, I believe. I don't want to do you wrong, so yes, 8 minus the pressure. So I had 2 pressure. So now I have another goal that is of a 6 control, and that's defeat the enemy, whatever they are. And I'm picturing them as servants of the dark. They've been following me. In this way, this becomes a longer fight. And because I spun it off, it's called a hardship, which means that I can't move forward in any of my other goals until I get rid of them. But at least I reduce my pressure by 2 if I get rid of them. So narratively, they can't report back, and the pressure of people following me will be gone for now. Let's go back up here to the Metamorphica. I haven't used this book. I just got it the other day. I've been wanting it for a while. And I kind of want the dark to be mutants or demons or something. And this is a crazy big mutant chart. Look at that. Crazy big. It's a D1000. I think I'm going to use it. Let's see if this thing will roll. D1000. 430. Oh, it does. Cool. External digestion. That's disgusting. I like it. I like disgusting. Patterns. Scan. Yeah. Gross ass people. She pulls out her energy blade. She doesn't turn it on yet because it has a distinct sound and lights things up. But she leaves her torch down below and sneaks back up the stairs and hides. So when they come around the corner, she's going to attack them. She's never done this before. I mean, she has training. She has a defender because everybody in the town has to learn how to use weapons to defend from bandits and that type of thing. So she knows how to use a sword, but she's never really laid an ambush for people before. And she doesn't really know what they are yet. So, and then because of the last roll, was a strong hit, but the dark die was low, she's still sorrow. So she doesn't really want to do this, but the stakes are high. Her family got their connection to their ancestral gods severed. I mean, and she had magic awaken in her. She's going to use it, but she's going to wait until she sees them. And I think what she sees, based on those rolls from the Metamorphica, is she sees 2 black cloaked, because all bad guys have to be black cloaked in these type of environments. People, knives, long knives, short swords that are thin and black. Probably some really, maybe some runes etched in them, some red runes etched in them. They're like energy weapons, but they're stolen energy. Maybe they suck magic. Alright, that sounds good. And because they're hooded, we don't know that one of them is insides are on the outside and the other one has a weird patterned skin. We don't know that because they're cloaked. But they are definitely not, they're human-ish, I guess. So once she sees that they have the runes of the Great Dark on their sword, she just attacks. That is her roll. And her roll is Defender 2, Sorrow 3, and her Ancestral Blade. So she once again has a 7. And a weak hit. Because the 7 tied. Oh boy, weak hits. Weak hits. So I get 1. What am I going to get from the... I'm going to take control just right off the bat with this one. For mine, I'm not going to roll because I want to end the fight as quick as possible. And then I'll roll for the unfavorable because that's really what happened to her. 9. Gain pressure. Interesting. Maybe there's one above it. Maybe there's one waiting up by the horse. And she's loud when she does it. Okay. She swings her weapon, turns it on as she's swinging it. It lights up. Energy spewing across the blade, and she slashes into one of them, knocking him into the wall. And he screams out of shock when he does it. And the other one leaps back and tries to stab her, but instead, or no, the other one leaps back and calls also, "She's here!" And that's what happens because she hit one, and that was her her control, and then the other one is to gain pressure. Alright, she's going to keep at it. Ancestral Blade, Defender. But I have to switch something up, and it's a weak hit, so it's a middle emotion, so it's doing it for me anyway. And then the low die is the dark die, so it's anger. She's angry at herself for messing up. But she only has a 6 this time, not a 7, so let's see what happens here. It's another weak hit. That's fine. I'll deal with a weak hit. I'm going to take another point of control because she wants to get this done as fast as possible. And then I'm going to roll, boom, boom, for what happens to her. 10. More pressure. Man, there must be lots of people up above. Okay. Yeah, so she kicks the guy. They're fighting on the stairs too, so it's kind of dramatic. The other guy is losing his footing and trying to stand up and get leverage, and she kicks the guy that yelled they're here down on the stairs, and that's what gave her control. Like, she can hear his head hit against the wall. And that's pretty much it. She's just angry now that she messed up. And it's a weak hit, so she stays in the middle emotions. She actually stays angry on this one. Now I'm just going to roll it again. Anger, Defender, Blade. No. If I use that again, I will have a -1, so I'll only have a 5. Yeah, because now she's being predictable and stupid, right? So there's 5. But still a weak hit. But at least it's the white die low, so my next one will go back up again. Alright, I'm going to take another point of control because that's what I do. I should probably, if I figure out a way to reduce pressure, I would, but I can't. Oh, I mean, I don't want to like collapse the tunnel or anything like that because then I'll trap my horse up there. I don't want them to take my horse. You know? 6, I gain doubt. Wow, she's gaining doubt like crazy. I need her to take a break. She's also getting tired. She's actually 0 tired. Because she spent all her motivation. Well, that was really stupid of me not to pay attention to, wasn't it? Oh well. I was too excited about showing you how fights work and totally forgot to count my motivation. Those are the names of the game, right? And I drove her to 0. So we'll deal with what happens there if you run out of motivation. She at least she had a control of 9 and 6 gaining doubt, and that the doubt is probably what does it. Like she stabs the one that she originally knocked with the blade, and he falls down the stairs and stops moving. She hears people scrambling up above her, and she realizes that she's outnumbered and panics, and because her motivation drains up, and so she doesn't know what to do. It's like a moment of exhaustion, but also just mental fatigue, and she doesn't know how to deal with that. Now, to get motivation back, she needs to get to a spot where she can rest, but because she ran out, she really needs to, she has to push to resolve the goal immediately, or take +1 doubt and choose an unfavorable choice from the action resolution table and narrate something bad happening to her character. So like, they would catch her essentially. But I'm really close to resolving my goal. I have a 9 with only 2 pressure. I'm gonna go ahead and try to resolve it. Let's see. A weak hit. You achieve your goal, but something slips away. Gain +1 doubt. And regain half your motivation. A point of pressure is added to another goal. Adding that right up there to my return home goal. I think her innocence slips away. I mean, I think she's going to murder these people. I think she's going to stab the person who yelled with her energy weapon, and then drop it, unsling her rifle, and shoot the people coming down the stairs. And in the loudness of the explosion of the slug thrower, because it's not a blaster or anything like that, it's a big, probably like a shotgun maybe. No, it's a rifle. So she fires it twice. Maybe it's like a pump. Shoots them dead. And she finds herself in the darkness of this staircase, surrounded by 4 bodies of, I mean, they may be serving the Great Dark, but she's never just murdered people before. And I think that's what slipped away from her. You know, I also think somebody escaped, but she doesn't know that. This pressure point I added to return home and save them from the darkness means that, you know, something changed there. So she defeated those enemies. Now, when you resolve goals, normally you would get clarity, but no, it's because it's a weak hit. Oh, she's going to go back down, or go back up, out of this, and she's going to make sure that Anna is alright. And then she's going to lead Anna a good ways away from there, and she's going to rest for the night, because she needs time to settle herself before descending back into that dark hole. So when she rests, and this is going to help her, she removes 1 point of doubt. Yay, because she's about to not be happy. And all her motivation comes back. But she gains a point of pressure. I'm going to add it to the return home, because the longer she's out and about, the more people are going to be able to muster to stop her from going home. And that is how you do a combat. My math is a little off. I get excited and I get nervous when I'm recording for people to hear. So I was off, I think, by 1 in my motivation points, and I totally forgot to count them down for you all. But, you know, it worked out in the end for her, even if she is only 2 points away from losing motivation to continue. And I still haven't showed you how the occult works in the game, which could have saved her in this, but I'm kind of like easing into it. So next time, maybe you'll get to see her do some magic, or fight a monster, or maybe she'll find out who she is. Although she's pretty far away from that goal. Alright, I'll see you then.